In the context of ongoing tensions in the Middle East and repeated failures of peace efforts, the international community once again seeks a solution to the Israel-Palestine issue. The question remains, will an independent Palestinian state become a reality? On July 28th, dozens of ministers gathered at a United Nations conference to call for the world to work toward a two-state solution between Israel and the Palestinians, but the United States and Israel boycotted the event. The 1930-member UN General Assembly decided last September that such a conference would be held in 2025. Co-hosted by France and Saudi Arabia, the conference was postponed to June after Israel attacked Iran. Speaking at the conference, Saudi Arabia's Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud urged all countries to support the conference's goal of building a roadmap that defines the parameters for a Palestinian state while ensuring security for Israel.
That was adopted in Beirut is the basis for any just and comprehensive peace. And here we confirm the need to support the international alliance for the two-state solution, to follow up on the outcomes of this conference, and to consolidate international efforts to implement clear steps that are chronologically clear to put an end to occupation and embody the Palestinian state in a manner that would achieve stability and security to all the region and enhance cooperation between the different countries in a manner that would bolster international peace and security. In closing, I call on all states attending here to join the outcome document, which is a joint road plan towards the implementation of the two-state solution, and to combat any means to undermine it and to enhance peace possibilities that still exist if the will is there for them. Thank you.
Je remercie mon homologue de ses...
I thank my fellow co-chair for these remarks, and that is unacceptable. Your presence in large numbers here today demonstrates the consensus and the mobilization of the international community around the appeal for the end of the war in Gaza. The New York conference, and this will be my second point, must be a turning point and a transformational juncture for the implementation of the two-state solution. We must work on the ways and means to go from the end of the war in Gaza to the end of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict at a time when this war is jeopardizing the stability and security of the entire region. To achieve this, only a political two-state solution will help respond to the legitimate aspirations of Israelis and Palestinians to live in peace and security. There is no alternative.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I thank the government. Precisely because of the grim realities, we must do even more to realize the two-state solution. Today's conference is a rare and indispensable opportunity. We must ensure that it does not become another exercise in well-meaning rhetoric. It can and must serve as a decisive turning point, one that catalyzes irreversible progress towards ending the occupation and realizing our shared aspiration for a viable two-state solution.
France plans to recognize a Palestinian state in September at the annual gathering of world leaders at the UN General Assembly, French President Emmanuel Macron said last week. Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Mustafa, a senior official of the Palestinian Authority, which exercises limited self-governance in the West Bank under Israeli occupation, called on all countries to recognize the state of Palestine immediately, adding that the path to peace begins with recognizing the Palestinian state and protecting it from destruction.
I salute the historic and courageous decision of France and President Macron to recognize the state of Palestine in September, and call on all those that have yet to do so to recognize the state of Palestine without delay. Indeed, the path to peace starts with recognizing the state of Palestine, and preserving it from destruction. Deep gratitude for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and France. The rights of all peoples must be respected. The sovereignty of all states must be ensured. Palestine and its people can no longer be the exception.
After the morning session, Saudi Arabia's Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud and France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot spoke to the media at the United Nations.
We recognize that Israel and Palestine, the actors of peace, have also rejected violence and terrorists, and this proves Hamas wrong. Hamas always fought against the two-state solution that doesn't recognize the right of Israel to exist. After that major decision made by France, historic commitments have been crystallized, are being formed today and tomorrow here in New York. Let me quote just three. First, on the part of the countries represented of the conference, which will adopt the common vision of Gaza after the war based on the international notion of stabilization. And then secondly, on the part of Saudi Arabia and the Arab and Muslim countries who, for the first time, will condemn terrorism and the act of terror on the 7th of October, call the disarmament of Hamas, and express their hope to have a normalized relationship with Israel in due time. And then thirdly, on the part of the Western countries, who express their willingness to recognize the state of Palestine and therefore contribute to the edifice of peace. So this is a milestone on the long road which leads us to the GA, General Assembly at UN, when, through the voice of the President of the Republic, our decision to recognize the state of Palestine will be formalized, and where we are counting on collective mobilization, which should continue before it's too late.
Is Saudi Arabia's normalization of relations with Israel still on the table?
So, for your first question on normalization, I think we've been very, very clear over the last year and over the last many months, and most clear was the statement by the Crown Prince that for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, normalization with Israel can only come through the establishment of a Palestinian state. That position remains the same, and it is based on a strong conviction that only through the establishment of a Palestinian state and only through addressing the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people to self-determination can we have sustainable peace and real integration in the region. So we continue to have that position. We continue to call for moving in that direction. And I think our hope through this conference and other initiatives where it has become clear that international consensus is very much in line with that belief, that can be a catalyst for a real conversation about peace in the region and can actually accelerate the process towards regional integration. But again, that is contingent on achieving a Palestinian state.
Do you see any change in the stance of President Donald Trump in trying to end the Gaza war and achieve a two-state solution?
The US is an essential actor, and is certainly an essential actor in what concerns peace in the Middle East. And President Trump has, in fact, had success already in this regard. He was able to facilitate the first and only ceasefire so far in this conflict. And obviously his personal engagement and his role is immensely important. And I think we've all heard President Trump statement in many occasions that he is a man of peace, that he is someone who abhors war, and he is a humanitarian. And I am firmly in the belief that U.S. engagement, and especially the engagement of President Trump, can be a catalyst for an end to the immediate crisis in Gaza and potentially a resolution of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict in the long term. So obviously we, as strong partners of the United States, continue to work closely with the U.S. on many issues, and we hope that the U.S. will continue to lead in the efforts for peace. And as I said, we have tremendous respect and faith in President Trump's not just belief and hope in peace, but in his ability to deliver on that hopes. You asked about Hamas. The kingdom's position has always been that the Palestinian Authority is the only legitimate, that Fatah and the Palestinian Authority are the only legitimate, the PLO are the only legitimate representative of the Palestinian people, and that continues to be the case. And I think what we have seen today with this conference as well reinforces another core belief of the kingdom, the belief that diplomacy, not violence, are the path to conflict resolution and to peace. So from our perspective, the focus needs to be on dialogue, the focus needs to be on diplomacy, and we need to focus on those tools, not the tools of violence. And obviously we need to have one unified representative of the Palestinian people, and that is the Palestinian Authority, who have shown themselves not only a credible governor of Palestine, but also a credible interlocutory for Israel in progressing towards peace. And I would hope that we will all work to reinforce the Palestinian Authority and its capacity and capability. Thank you.
A U.S. State Department spokesperson said the U.S. would not attend the UN conference, describing it as a gift to Hamas, which continues to reject ceasefire proposals accepted by Israel that would lead to the release of hostages and bring calm to Gaza. The State Department spokesperson added that Washington voted against the General Assembly resolution last year calling for the conference and would not support actions that jeopardize the prospects for a lasting, peaceful resolution to the conflict. Israel also did not participate in the conference. The United Nations has long supported the vision of two states living side by side within secure and recognized borders. The Palestinians want a state in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip, all territories occupied by Israel during the 1967 war with neighboring Arab states. The UN General Assembly in May last year voted overwhelmingly in favor of Palestine's bid to become a full UN member, by recognizing it as eligible to join and recommending that the UN Security Council reconsider the matter favorably. The resolution received 143 votes in favor and 9 against. The General Assembly vote was a global survey of support for Palestine's effort to become a full UN member, a move that would effectively recognize a Palestinian state, after the U.S. vetoed the bid at the UN Security Council a few weeks earlier.